Hi, everyone out in the Artfully Connected Facebook group land here. Thank you all for joining us tonight and Happy New Year. And we are so excited to start off this new year with a Meet the Artist. And tonight's guest is Sandi Greco. So I just want to say that if you are watching live with us, please let us know where you're from in the comments. If you have any questions for Sandi, or even if you have questions for me, you can put them in the comments. And also too, if you are watching a replay, welcome and thank you for watching the replay. Go ahead and post your questions in the comments as well. You might want to use the @ sign to and Sandi's name so that she knows that there's a question for her, and then she'll come back and she'll answer it at a later date. So it's just going to be one of those nights, and we always work off the cuff, and I always welcome those questions from you because I can only come up with so many myself. So I really appreciate the help. And we have a really star-studded lineup this month. So after Sandi tonight, it's going to be Judy Ribich tomorrow. We're also going to have Ross Stelcup and Shara Reiner this month. So make sure you mark your calendars on all of those dates, as well as 3 of the Watch, Learn, and Paint episodes. And there's Watch, Learn, and Paper as well, because I'll be doing an iris folding card, the snowflakes. So you can go check that out under events. They're also listed under the announcements. So here, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight, Sandi. I'm so excited about this interview, as I've seen a lot of people are excited to hear from you, because with COVID, we've all been locked up for so long.
Oh, I know. Well, Happy New Year, everybody, and thank you for joining me too. I'm so pleased to be here. So pleased for that Cindy asked me to be here. So, I hope I can share what I can with you, because that's my motto: is I share all that I know, all that I can with everybody I can. So.
And you get the world listening in on you tonight. So this is great.
That's a little scary. I don't know. That's a little scary, but okay.
Okay, well, only 3,000 of them anyways.
Oh, all right. All right.
So here's the first question. Tough one. Tell us where you're from.
Where am I from? I'm from a little town called Clarence. It's in New York State. It's a suburb outside of Buffalo. So about a little bit outside of Buffalo. It's just a small little town, and that's it.
So, and where are you living now? Like, are you still in this small little town, or you moved?
Oh, well, I grew up in areas around here. I mean, I grew up in a town called Tonawanda, and then as you get married, I did live in the city of Buffalo for a while, and you kind of venture out, and now I'm in this suburb of Clarence, and I've been here for 35 years, I think it is now. My husband and I moved out here. We had 4 sons, raised our 4 sons here. I have 8 grandchildren. My littlest one was just born during COVID. She's 8 months old, and she's a sweetie. So it's exciting. Always busy. Always busy. I have
And
a
everyone's
studio.
safe, right?
Pardon me?
The mama and the babies, everyone's safe. All the
Oh yeah,
kids.
yeah. Everybody's good. So.
Good. Oh, good. That's wonderful. So they not living necessarily. Are all the kids and the grandkids living near you?
Um, no, 3 of them are in the Western New York area. My 2 grandchildren are up in the Adirondacks, and funny, that's probably those are the ones that I see the most. So.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just up there over Christmas, and spent the day with them. So it was a long trip for one day, but got to see them, and you got to do what you got to do as a grandma,
Yeah, but it's nice that you had the ability to see them, because not everybody has.
Right. Well, we had a snowstorm the day after Christmas, so we had like 18 inches of snow here. So that was the day we were supposed to go, and that got canceled. So then the following day, my son and I went up there, and it worked out. It worked out really nice.
Well, that's good.
But everybody's having those trials. They're having weather everywhere. So
That is very true. That is very true. So
it's
my
been a
next,
strange year.
it has been, and it's not over yet, right?
No, no.
So my next question is, do you come from an artistic family?
It's a funny question. In fact, my granddaughter was just here earlier, and we were talking about that when I said that I was going to do this interview. And she says, "Well, you've always been artistic, Gigi." And I says, "No," I says, "I haven't." My sister is artistic. She's very artsy. She can draw and, you know, not too much with the painting, but I feel that this decorative art is a learned art form. Um, the funny story is when I was taking art in school, when you had to take the art in school, my art teacher used to just tell me, sit in the back of the room. He liked me, so just stay back there. So I really didn't get into it until later in life, when 1981 actually, and I saw a piece and said, "Oh, I wanted to learn how to do this," and it was at a craft show, and the girl says, "Oh, I can teach you," and it's like, "No, no, no, I can't paint, whatever." So I went to my first class and started painting, and from then on, it has been just I took every class that I could possibly take from every teacher that I could possibly take, and learn every technique and style and what have you. So it has been a journey, and I've loved every minute of it, and it just has become my world. And then in 1984, I had a lady ask me to teach her how to do this toll painting stuff, and so I did, and it just kind of flourished from there. And I've always been kind of on the shy side, believe it or not, and that just kind of got me out of my shyness when I had to stand up and teach people and what have you. But it was fun. It was a total journey, and it actually gave me the opportunity and the incentive to learn more, because I would go and I would teach them, and then I'd have to go and figure out things and learn more so that I could come back the next week and teach them something else. So it really pushed me to learn, and I'm very grateful for that.
Don't you think that you can learn more from your students? I mean, it just seems like they can teach you a lot because
Oh, definitely, definitely.
yeah, they make
Yeah,
you
I
make you
teach.
think about what it is you're doing and how you're doing it just by asking questions, right?
That's it in a nutshell, Cindy. That's it in a nutshell, because it made me think about what I was doing when I was painting, so that I could get it, you know, present it to my students. So that's exactly it in a nutshell, you
Cool.
know.
So
And I think I
when
think it made me a better teacher.
when was it? Yes, I agree. When was it that you started painting? When did you start? When did you?
I started in 81, and then I started teaching in 84.
Cool. So
So
is
I've
it
had my business. It's called the Paint and Post Studio here in Clarence. I did have a shop. I did have a shop up in the heart of town up here for a number of years, and then my husband fell ill, and so I had to give up my shop and move back to the house, back to my home studio. So it got a lot smaller, but it also got busier. So I mean, I teach probably a good 8 classes a week.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, yes. Now I miss my students. I miss you all so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's a pretty busy schedule, and then to go from that to nothing is an adjustment to say the least, right?
Oh, definitely,
Mm.
definitely. Yeah.
So what would you say, which artist would you say influenced you the most?
Um, I would have to say Maureen McNaughton, you know. But maybe backtrack a little bit. When I first started, Priscilla Hauser was on PBS, and every Saturday I would turn it on. My father used to tape it on the VCR, and she was my first encouragement, but you know, and then I was able to take a seminar up in Canada with Maureen McNaughton, and that just kind of really pushed me. It wasn't just the stroke work though. I mean, she did the stroke work, and we in the seminar we did the stroke work. But I was just starting in acrylics at that time, and we were painting some violets, and we floated on the color to shade them. And then she says, "Okay, now float the next color," and it was like same comment in the same place we just did it, and it was like, yep. Well, when I started seeing how those values changed and what you could do with those acrylic paints and that, I mean, it was amazing. So um, she really pushed me to float and to float with a lot of colors and use a lot of colors. And I mean, I still hear the same thing from my students. We just did it there. It's like, okay, I know, well, do it again, but
Which
and I
means,
can hear them now. If any of them are watching, I can hear them now.
well, they've all been saying how much they miss you too, so they're here.
Good, good.
So that raises a question too. What something you said? Did you start in acrylics? Was that your beginning? Was with acrylics?
No, actually, I started in oils. I started with oils,
Oh.
and then for many years painted in oils, and then a lot of people didn't want to paint in the oils anymore, and because of all the solvents and stuff, so uh, acrylics kind of were coming to light, and so I started dabbling in them, and I've actually advanced my technique. I've had people, oil painters, tell me that they thought a piece that I did was done in oils, and it wasn't. It's just in acrylic. So, but again, it's that layering technique. You have to layer the colors to get that depth and that effect. So it's a learning process. It's a learning process, and that's what I always want to touch on, like the beginners. It's like, don't think that you can do anything the first step out of the gate that it's going to be exactly like the teachers. It's a process, and just enjoy the process as you're learning, and just keep learning and take from every teacher that you can, try every style that you can. Myself, I don't have a niche. I know everybody thinks I'm just a stroke work person, but um, I love the stroke work, and that is probably my forte. But I do everything. I do still lifes. I do the stroke work. I do cutesy pieces. I mean, I'll do anything, and I enjoy whatever I'm doing at that moment is what I'm enjoying painting. So, um, but the stroke work, I include the stroke work in everything that I do because I think it's how you have to work the brushes, and if you know how to work the brushes, it just helps you in any style that you're painting.
That's very good advice. I mean, like advice or tip or whatever. That's excellent because yeah, you're right. You are so right.
Yeah,
What
if you don't know
is
how to use the chisel of that, if you don't know how to use the chisel of the brush, or what it's going to do for you, or how to use the round brush in the proper ways,
yeah,
um,
it won't help you. I mean, you've
right,
got to learn that. What I mean, you started teaching what 3 4 years after you picked up a brush. What
right.
inspired you to go into teaching?
Because I had this lady, she had seen a piece that I had painted as a gift, for someone. Because years ago, you used to give a lot of gifts. Well, you still do, but um, she saw this gift that I had given, and so she wanted to learn this toll painting stuff. So she said, if I got a group of ladies together, would you come and teach us? And they were all ceramic. They were all ceramic teachers, and they wanted to learn how to do this toll painting on ceramics. So I go, well, I haven't taught yet. So they says, well, just show us what you've learned. Just show us what you've learned, and we'll go from there. And so that was just kind of it. And I just enjoyed the teaching, and that I still do. I just enjoy teaching. I just enjoy being with the people. I love to watch everybody blossom and do a project, and when they're doing a project and they start out and it doesn't look like anything, and then all of a sudden they're just like dancing out of the studio here. It's exciting. It's exciting for me. It's really exciting for me. So I
Hmm.
really enjoy it. I just enjoy it.
It's cool. And I totally, I've experienced that feeling too as a teacher, and it is hard to explain what that feeling is like,
Hmm.
but it is cool.
And even when you see, like, say on Facebook or that, I see somebody who's maybe bought a pattern packet or whatever and done some of my designs or that, it's like, oh, it just touches me in my heart,
Mhm.
and that they've enjoyed painting it. So
Yeah, that is nothing like that feeling. So that the women who approached you to teach, so that was your original design you came up with, that she wanted you to teach the group?
no, no, no. I was just teaching them stroke work. I was just teaching them stroke work, and then we would take, like, say, little folk art designs and put them together and make little patterns and stuff, and just graduated from there. So it was started out with, again, just teaching them strokes and how to work the brushes,
Oh,
and
wow.
then we would put little patterns together, and that was all in oils. So we started out in oils.
So when did you become like a full-fledged designer and designing your own patterns?
um, I don't know. I don't know. I've, done things here and there. I really wasn't serious about the designing in the beginning. I would do designs, but it wasn't like my focus. And like even in my teaching, when I teach, I don't teach just all my own designs because I wouldn't have time to do as much teaching as I do along with doing my own designs. So when I'm doing a convention or something, that's all, of course, my own designs. But when I'm teaching a home studio, like, I'll buy patterns or books or whatever and contact different teachers. And if they'll allow me to, teach their technique or their pattern, then I do that. So it offers my students and myself an opportunity to paint a lot of different styles, try a lot of different things. Um, and I feel, again, it goes back to that sharing thing. When the teachers offer, they allow me to teach their styles or their patterns, then my students, I mean, I of course always give the teachers the credit and the designers the credit. And then the students, I find they'll go to their websites, they'll go, they'll buy from them. So, it works out, it's kind of pay it forward type thing.
Yeah, cool. So what would you say is your favorite subject matter to paint?
There again, I don't think I have. I think my favorite one is folk art and stroke work. Um, I like to look at a subject and decide how I can do it in strokes. Um, but again, like I said before, it's like whatever I'm painting at the time is like my favorite thing to be doing.
When you look at something, because I mean, I know I can't go even to an IKEA store without looking at them as surfaces and what I would paint on. I mean, you walk in any store
Right.
and if there's a blank canvas, no matter what the item is, it's a blank canvas. And like, what can you paint on that? And when I started designing, I was seeing my designs in pen and ink with oil rouging, which I was taught by Mary Owens. And as I evolved, I went back to acrylics because acrylics was my first my first and love kind of thing. That's what I started out in, and I went back to it. It was just a natural progression, like circle, complete circle. So for you, did you start when you see something that sparks, like you see looking at a tree, for instance, you see brushstrokes. Do you see those brushstrokes in acrylics? Do you see them in oils? Do you see them, as each individual stroke, or do you see them,
I
how
see
do you
them.
see?
I see them as how can I teach this? That's how I look at. Actually, that's exactly how I do it. Is I look at something. how can I teach somebody how to do this? Like I'll look outside, like when using trees as your example. I remember looking outside the one time and right out my window because I'm kind of in a rural area here, so there's a lot of trees around me. And looking at the trees and seeing that like each branch. So I made sure, like I always tell them, don't put your branches straight out in the air. Everything goes to a V. And I made them all look out the window and you see how everything comes, all the branches come down to a V. And then how when put it on, when you come to the end of the branch, you kind of trail it off with your liner brush, et cetera, et cetera. The different values in bark and how we can get that by using like the chisel of the brush. And so again, I do everything in how can I teach this? And
Very
then my other thing is then I like unique pieces of wood or product. I mean, um, I'll just find unique pieces and that'll be my inspiration.
cool. And it's like you're the first person I asked that question to, but I really like where your head went. I really love that because I never thought of that. Thinking about how I can teach that to somebody. That's pretty cool. Thank you.
Well,
So,
that's kind of where I start.
so do you have a favorite medium since you've done oils and acrylics? Do you have a favorite medium?
My least favorite is watercolors because they scare the daylights out of me. Um, because I don't feel I can control them. The oils, I love the oils, but again, with all the extra with the solvents and all that stuff, I've kind of stayed away from them. I went into the acrylics and I love working with my acrylics. And like I said, I just find that there's so much that I can do with my acrylics using all the different mediums that are available. Um, you can mix the colors just like you can with the oils. I mean, and like I said, I've had oil teachers tell me that some of my pieces, she's, oh, you did this in oils. No, I didn't. I did it in acrylics. But by using, say, your extenders or whatever, you can get your acrylics to work like oils. So
With the proper
it's
training,
experimenting.
training and
Well,
practice.
I play, yeah, I play a lot, and that's probably my thing is I like to play a lot. So like um when I do like say a pattern or whatever, I don't know how other designers do it, but I mean it takes me a little bit because I have pieces of poster board all over and I'll try this, I'll try that medium, oh that's not working, let's try this, let's try that. And there again it goes back to my teaching is whenever I'm doing a design or something, it's like I want to show them a different medium, how to use a different medium with the design or a different technique or a product or something like that. So I'm always like thinking ahead teacher wise as what can I show somebody. And I think that's why my classes are successful. So, you know, I do have a successful studio and I thank all my students. I just love them all to death.
They love you too.
I mean, I
So
have them they come from all over and there's this one group, and I don't know if you're watching out there, but there's four of them, and they come together sometimes 2, 3 times a week, and they travel like almost an hour to get here, back and forth. And a couple of them are bus drivers. They get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're here until 11 o'clock at night. So that's dedication, and I just love them all.
and it's a testament to you too. So
Thank you.
Bear is asking, have you ever used heat set oils?
I did one time. In fact, I was just chatting online with Mary Jabalisco the one day because I thought, and in the class that I took, we did these heat set oils and you had to put them in the oven, and it was a disaster. And she's telling me, no, you don't. You just need to use a heat gun. So since my bad experience, no, I've never used them again.
There you go.
So I might try them, but.
I wonder about the product they call oil soluble.
Them I've used. Those I've used.
How is that differ from regular oils?
Um, they don't, except that you use water and it's water cleanup versus, again, all the solvents.
Hmm.
So, but they work the same,
'Cause I figure like with my Mary Owens training that we always cleaned up with soap and water after anyway. So I didn't understand the difference.
It's funny that you mentioned Mary Owens because she's a dear friend and she was actually one of my beginning teachers.
Ah,
She's from my area here, or she was until she moved off to Florida. So
yeah, Lockport. Yeah, I've been.
she used to teach in my studio
Oh,
up on,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to her place. I've stayed with her several times up in Lockport. So
Oh
yes,
yeah, see, I'm not that far from Lockport.
cool. So do you have? I mean, I know you say that you're kind of known for your stroke work and stuff, but is that your favorite technique, or is there? Do you have a favorite technique?
Um, Again, it just goes back to whatever I'm painting at the time. Whatever I'm painting at the time is where I'm finding my joy. I just find joy in painting. So I mean, I don't know. Can I show you a few things or?
Sure. If you want to wait, and we'll have a few more questions.
Okay.
Somebody, let's see, Kala. Do you sell any of your pieces? Well, see there, that opens up the. Do you sell any of
Um,
your pieces?
no, no, I really don't. I give them away as gifts and that when I can. Um, I used to do, that was one of the stepping stones was, doing the craft shows. So I did at that time, I sold them, but I don't. I paint a lot. I give them away. I belong to 3 New York State chapters, and we have, of course, the luncheons and the auctions and all that stuff. So I donate most of
Mhm.
mine. Like when I teach a class, I'll always paint along with them. So I have all these samples. So I'm basically just giving it away.
Cool.
Very rarely do I ever sell anything. I guess basically because I don't know how to price it. I mean, if you priced it by what I think my time or my value is, it'd be $1,000, and nobody would pay $1,000 for a little piece of artwork. So,
Well, you say that, and I think of the artwork that's in the galleries that they slapped on a bunch of just one color red, and they sell it for $1,000.
or throw the bucket of paint against the canvas. Yeah, right.
I know, and you put way more time into what you do.
Exactly, exactly.
So of your paintings that you have there, what was the most recent? Because like you said, you love what you're doing at the moment. So what do you have in front of you that you can grab and show? I know these people would
What
love.
was the most recent? Um, oh, hmm. Okay, well, here's one. This might be familiar to you.
Oh, it is, and it's a
This is when
beautiful.
Brenda Stewart's that was just on my UFO table. So I finally got the lettering done.
Yeah, she
So
came out really handsome.
yeah, that was a great class. And there too, to encourage everybody to do these webinars and these Zoom classes. Since we can't take regular classes, it's the best way that you can just keep painting. I mean, um,
I know Melissa asked if you could pick one technique, what would it be?
folk art, I think, stroke work, I really enjoy. I'll
Mm,
show you one piece that's probably an old favorite. It's a little stool. It's got a lot
wow,
of folk work. But there
that's
again, just to take it one step further, I don't know if you can see the side here.
the
This is
seashell. Yeah, and like a tortoise shell type of finish.
Yeah, so it's kind of doing a faux technique. So in order, we did the top and that was all with stroke work and, using strokes and liner and, learning all of that. And then to finish it off with doing the technique on the side to give that faux finish to the legs. So it's just a little step stool.
Is that your original design on the top?
No, a friend of mine, Linda Sturm, and I don't know if it was actually her original design, but uh, she adapted it to this. We found this unique piece of wood and adapted the pattern to it. So, and
That is,
that's what I do a lot. You know.
that's beautiful. Everyone loves it. That's gorgeous. You have a favorite brush.
Oh, now I can hear all my students going, her 7050180 script liner brush, but because I would be in a class and that's what I would say to take out. I loved my Lowell Cornell brushes. And years ago it was the 18 script liner brush. Now it is my 10-0 mid liner. So that I love my liner brush. I love to do line work.
Is it still Lowell Cornell or is that
Well, no, because Lowell Cornell has gone out of business.
right?
So their family has taken over and they're now called
Okay, yes.
King Art brushes. And they have this mid liner. Um, shoot, I don't have the number with me right at the moment, but well, if anybody's taking my webinar, it's listed
It's
on there.
it's a 7050 18-aught script liner. That's what Lori's saying.
Well, it was a joke. It was a joke because I would always say that, and I was teaching at a retreat the one time, and every time they'd say, "What brush should we use?" I'd go, "Take out your 7050180 script liner," and so it just got to be a joke amongst my students.
You're
You know, so,
so
but they all had one. They all had one.
I love those. I don't like 10-aughts much. I use 18 and 20-aughts myself. So
Oh, really? So now I've gotten to the 10-0s, and I'm
they're
happy
cool.
with that.
What is the best tip that you would give to your students that you could give to your students?
What is the best tip? The best tip is probably to take every class that you are possibly to take. I mean, take every class, every style, every technique from every teacher. Learn whatever you can. Just keep on learning and enjoy every step of your journey. That's probably the biggest thing is just enjoy every step of your journey. It's a great journey. You meet so many wonderful people along the way. You learn so much and you just feel so good about yourself. And especially like say during this COVID time and that, it is therapy. Art is therapy. I was in Michael's one day and there was this man and he was standing in front of the paint racks and he's just standing there like he didn't know what to do. And I says, is there anything I can help you with? I says, I'm a decorative painting teacher. And he goes, well, my doctor sent me over here to, get some paints and get some brushes and get some stuff and start to learn painting. And I says, really? He says, yep. He says it was the best therapy for to relax and reduce stress. I know some people don't think it's a stress reducer, but if you're having a hard time painting a certain thing, but actually it is. You get that brush in hand, and it just takes your mind into a different level, and you can get lost in it. You just get lost in your art and just enjoy it. My goal as a teacher too is just always to give them the knowledge, to guide the student through their process and inspire them to just be creative and take their inner creativity. Everybody's got it. You just have to bring it out. And again, my students have always told me that they enjoy hearing that I didn't come from an artful background. I didn't go to college for art. This is a learned process, and they appreciate the fact that I've shared with them that I have worked hard. I've worked very, very hard to get to where I am. And it's not that I'm boasting about my talents or anything. It's just, I love what I'm doing. I love the people that I'm doing it with. Um, I just find joy in it. And that's what I want to share. Excuse me. That's what I want to share with everybody. Sometimes I get emotional. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're allowed. It's
I
allowed.
just, yeah.
I mean,
No,
it's a very it's because it touches it's so deep in your heart is
it
why
is.
is
It
why.
is. I
So
mean, it's been a part of my life since 1981, and a big part of it, and a big part of it. And like I said, I lost my husband. I mean, if I wouldn't have had my painting and all the people around me to get through all of that, I don't know where I'd be. So
yeah. Yeah.
I feel really
Christina
blessed.
Christina was saying or asking, do you find painting to be a meditative or Zen experience for you?
Oh, probably a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they shun up though. They say we shouldn't say it therapy because we're not, college educated with degrees in being a therapist, but it is therapeutic.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely.
Catherine wrote, the toll fairy will come through the night and your piece will look beautiful in the morning.
Oh, I know who that is. Yes, because we have the toll ferry come through here, and yep, that's what I tell them all the time.
So people are looking forward to your class next week, which we'll get to talk about in a little bit. And
Okay.
Sandra Schmidt is here. Hey, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
It says, Sandy has been a real encourager in my art journey, and she encouraged me to teach as well. She was a great mentor and friend, still is! Exclamation
Yeah,
point times 4.
that's for sure. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Marty's saying, less is more. Get in, get out are a couple of my faves.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Mm-hmm.
one, huh?
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch here you can go and look for after. I just want to take the second to say thank you all for being here. We're up to 83 viewers. And so, yes, thank you all for joining Sandy and myself tonight for this Meet the Artist series episode, if you will. And big hugs to everybody. And let's go on to, we have a few more questions, but if anyone in the audience has any, please go right ahead and post them. See, Dorothy says, fantastic outlook on your art. It has been my pull away place for so many years.
Yeah, definitely.
So Cal is saying, just want to note there are 83 people viewing this right now. You both are incredible.
Great. Thank you, Cal.
Yay! We need to get some more. Is there a medium? Here's a like one of those questions. Is there a medium or a subject or a technique that you haven't done yet that you would someday like to try?
Um, um, well, I think I've tried almost most of them. I've tried pencils. I've done the pencils. I've done the watercolors, the acrylics, the oils. I don't know what else is out there. I've done every kind of crafting there is. Um, I don't know. No,
Never
can't.
thought, huh?
I can't think of anything really.
There you go. And you've had a full life.
I have, yes, I have, and like I said, I've taught at I've just been teaching ever since I started. Again, after I stopped at that lady's house teaching that group of ceramic teachers, then I went on to teaching at the Y and the adult eds. Then that's when I guess I started designing because I taught at Hoot, I taught at MAD, I've taught at NET, I've taught many of the SDP conventions around, I've taught at retreats. I've taught at um, chapters up and down New York State. So I've been around, you know.
Juanita has a good one. She goes, how about pouring? Have you tried pouring?
I did. I did.
How about dots?
Dots.
Yeah,
DOTS.
Dolores said all she wrote was dots.
Yep. 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 I've yeah, we've tried that too.
I just did it last night and I was like, okay, fine, I'll break down and I'll break in and I'll try these dot things. So I just tried to do some dots myself last night. I'm like, I'm not sure how successful I am. I'm not centered. But
But there again, it's just fun. You were having fun, right? It was just a release for you. And that's it. It's just, grab some paints and some brushes or some dowels or some whatever and just have fun.
well,
It doesn't have to be the biggest artistic experience on earth. It can just be the simplest little thing. I
just
mean,
enjoy, just like you said, enjoy the journey. Corrine is asking, how about alcohol inks? She's an alcohol ink artist. I took classes from her. She's a beautiful artist. Have you ever tried alcohol inks, painting with alcohol inks?
um, a little bit. In a seminar, I believe it was with Carol Spawn. I tried it with, dabbled in it, put it that way. That's about it.
Cool.
Not much.
It amazes me what they can do with alcohol inks. I had no idea. I mean, when we had that craze a few years back, it was sponging alcohol ink on those ceramic tiles and making trivets or coasters. I never knew you
Right.
could actually paint with them. I know I'm naive. I don't get out much.
Well, there again, it's so much, but by and again, having all of these websites, excuse me, for with the painting, that there's so many people that are introducing you, like just like you said, I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know you could use this for that. And it's wonderful to just experience it all and have everybody sharing their knowledge. I mean, it's wonderful. It's just fun.
Connie's asking if you've ever tried pastels.
That's probably one that I have not. Um, and I know it sounds terrible, but I'm only in a 20 by 20 room here, and my storage is limited. And so every time, like, and over all the years, it's like every time a new paint line came out or a new this or a new that, I'd have to go and get everything. Well, I'm down to like this 20 by 20 room, and I'm running out of room for stuff. So it's,
Yeah, something's got to give.
kind of give. So unless it really strikes me, or sometimes like I'll do stuff like that at like when we had our conventions, I would try it at a convention class because, usually they'll supply the things that you're using. And then if you're really into it, then that's great. Then you go out and buy it. Um,
That's
you know,
what's great about the convention classes for sure.
right,
That's
right.
I would do the same if I go to a convention. I try to dabble in an oil painting or a watercolor, something I don't do on my own that I am afraid of,
Exactly.
So that's very
Exactly.
good.
That's the best opportunity to take them
Mm.
was at a convention class. So
So this brings us to the fact that you are a member now of the Artful Webinars family. Yay! We're so excited to have you on board. And what are you going to be teaching under Artful Webinars? We go ahead and tell them all about it.
okay, well, what I'm going to be teaching is it's going to be a 3-week class, and it's going to be doing stroke work. Is there a glare?
Yes,
Can you see
I
it?
see myself.
Ah,
Tilt the top down. Tilt the top down. No, bottom toward your face and the top toward the computer screen.
I
There
think
you
it
go.
works better the other way, though.
Okay, then do it that way and back up a little bit. There you go, right there. Perfect.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to be teaching is all of the different strokes. We're going to be using round brushes. We're going to be using flat brushes. Um, we're going to be using our liner brushes. And what I'm going to teach you is how to use each one of them to do your strokes. And like I've said, I believe that if you get the basic instruction right from the beginning, um, and know what those brushes can do for you, you can do any kind of painting, any kind of painting. So we're going to be taking 3 weeks. We're only going to be working on tracing papers, so it's not a whole lot of supplies. Your biggest cost is going to be your brushes. I would hope that anybody would get really good brushes because I truly believe too that if you have, just like with anything, if you had the best equipment, is going to give you the best results. So if you've got good brushes, you're going to get good results. If you're using crap brushes from the craft department of the store, you are not going to get good results. Um, so this is what you need to do. And we're going to be working on tracing paper and concentrating on the strokes. And what Cindy has is she has this a packet. I believe it's like 13 pages or something like that. But anyways, it's all these practice sheets. So every week we're going to do a different brush on using these different practice sheets, and we'll touch on the stroke work. We'll touch on floating. We're going to touch on double loading your brushes with your round brushes and your flat brushes. Again, your liner brushes and how to use them. So I think we're going to touch on a lot of things, including some of even the basics. So whether you are a total beginner, or if you've been somebody who has been painting for a while, and I've had a lot of people, that have been painting for many years and then come back to me and take my beginner stroke work class, and they just feel now more comfortable with doing their stroke work. So this is what we're going to be doing. And like I said, we're going to take 3 weeks to do it. Each week working with different brushes and the different techniques. And then on the last week, so it's 2 hours each week. And then the third week is I'm going to incorporate just a very small little project so that everything we've learned from those other weeks will incorporate into this small project. Okay. I think it'll be very informative. Like I said, I've had a lot of success, and I think once you've got the basic knowledge of what your brushes are going to do and how to use them with the paint, how to load your brush, how to even set up a palette, I mean, how to use your water bucket. You can paint any style. I mean, you can paint any style that you want. So whether you want to go to stroke work or still lifes or cutesy things or whatever, then the world is your oyster. You can do it, but you really need that basic knowledge. You just really need that basic knowledge, and I just can't stress that enough. I've had so many of my students that have come over the years, and they come to me, and they've been painting for a long time, but the teacher got them like right into a project and never taught them how to use the flat brush or what the chisel of the brush is, or what it can do or what it means or the terminology or different things like that. So that's what I'm hoping to get across to everybody, and that and I think you'll just get comfortable. You'll get comfortable with your brushes. You'll know what they can do. I'm not saying that, you're just going to pick up the brush and right off the bat, you're going to do your best stroke work or whatever. It does take practice, and it does take commitment, commitment to try it. Even myself, who I do stroke work all the time. No, I've never tried for my CDA. I know a lot of people have asked that. I've never tried for my CDA. I've always thought about it, but never went for it. But even when I'm going to do a stroke work project, I'll take out these practice sheets, the ones that I'm sending out for this class, and I'll just sit there and play for a little bit. Get yourself loose, kind of, feel the paint again, feel how the brush is going to be. And especially, like, say if you've had a break, like say over the Christmas holidays, you haven't picked up a brush in a while, get yourself just loose, just kind of play with your brushes, know what they can do. But you need good brushes, you need the good equipment in order to get the good results. That's all I can say. So hopefully you will sign up for the class. I think you will enjoy it. You'll get something out of it. Any class that you take, I don't care what kind of class it is, no matter what class you take, you're going to get something out of it that you've needed to know.
So you're getting a lot of hearts from a lot of people who are watching. So thank you so much for that. And I agree with you totally. And it's even though, you're talking about beginners, it's an awesome refresher course for anyone who's been painting for any number of years, I think.
Exactly.
Because like you said, you always learn something. You'll always learn something. And so where can people find you? Or I know that people had been asking earlier tonight. So where can they find you or find your designs?
I don't have a website, but if you go to my Facebook page, the Paint and Post Studio, you can, find a lot of my designs on there. If you contact me, I don't know if my email address is somewhere noted or if I can give it out. I don't know,
You
but
can go ahead and give it out. We didn't put it in the description, but your Paint and Post Facebook group name is up there. Facebook page name is up there, but I didn't put your email. But go ahead. We can
yeah,
put you now.
okay, it's Paint and Post Studio at AOL.com. And if you contact me, I do have a lot of patterns in that. Like I said, a lot that are on my Facebook page are not my designs. They're just ones that I have taught, but you can see my style. You can see what I like. That's going to be my focus though, is to work on this website and get my designs out there. I do have a lot of things also, a lot of packets also at bearwithus.com. So you can go to Bear With Us and find some packets there.
And so now you're going to have to find a new home for them since Bob
Oh, I
Kate are
know. I
retiring.
know. I'm so sad. I just love Kate and Bob,
Yeah,
so
they're
so
awesome
sad to see
people.
this.
But
Yeah, they
they've
really
worked
are.
hard, they've worked long, and so it's time for a well-deserved, well-earned rest.
I know, but what are we going to do with without all their little goodies that they always have,
Yeah, to me, because they've always had like 5 booths across in convention, and it's like there's always swarmed with people, hard to get in there. And I mean, I placed my order. I mean, when I got that news, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go place my order. So I
Yeah,
ordered.
I actually had placed an order the day before. If I would have realized, I would have gone further, but
Well, you still can.
oh no, of course I will. They're not going to be gone tomorrow, but
Nope. And they said, they're going to keep selling until they sell out. So everyone
yeah,
get on that bandwagon.
and they'll be at Palooza next year, the OKC Palooza,
That's
which
right. That's right.
I'll probably be there too. So
So that ends our session for this evening, but thank you so very much for joining us and for joining the Afro Webinars family and everyone who was here tonight and spent the hour with us. We really appreciate you showing up, asking the questions, so I'm not always coming up with all of them by myself. And what other brushes she likes. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about, I mean, we said what brush, but you went from Low Cornell to what brand?
okay,
King Art?
the King Art and also Sharf. I love the Sharf brushes.
Me too. I'm a sharp lady. So
Yeah.
there you
So
go. So you've got that. Um, Juanita, so that answered that question. So thank you once again. Thank you all. And please come back tonight for the Meet the Artist Judy Rivich and look at the announcements for a list of other things coming up so you don't miss it. Mark your calendars. And I hope that you enjoyed these sessions as much as I do in learning and meeting such wonderful ladies like Sandi and getting to know her better and all that she's going to bring for us in the future. So check everything out.
thank
Have a
you.
great, thank you, Sandi. Have a
Thank you,
great,
Cindy, for everything that you do for all of us too. So
thank you.
bye-bye, everybody.
My honor. Happy New Year.